Ecamm fam, what's good, y'all? This is Marshall Fox back again, and today I'm going to show you a couple simple lighting techniques that'll help take the quality of your live stream to the next level. So I'll cover things like color temperature, how to position your lights, and then I'll show you the lights that I use and recommend. We've got a lot to get into. As usual, here's the agenda. Let's go. Lighting it's everything. When it comes to visuals, lighting may be the single most important element, even more so than the type of camera that you're using. And having a dope camera doesn't guarantee you a dope shot, and using a webcam doesn't guarantee you a bad shot. It really comes down to effective lighting technique. So getting that technique down early can really help to save you a bunch of time, frustration, and money. But before you dive into lighting, take the time to really assess your space. Like, what look are you going for? Because your background will influence how you light yourself. They really go hand in hand. I've seen some really dope videos from some fellow Ecammers that you wouldn't even know were green screen because they lit themselves to match the background. So with the real live background, you'll want to keep that in mind. Think feng shui. Everything should just be balanced. Everything should be in harmony. If you haven't already, definitely check out the video set background video by Lori Petrucci on our channel. She gives tons of tips and ideas about how to create a dope background for your live streams, but it's not as easy as emulating somebody else's background or even creating your own. You have to realize that lighting will have the largest impact on the look and feel of your set than anything else. Honestly, I've had most of the major elements in place in my studio for the past couple of years, but it wasn't until I started live streaming a couple months ago with Ecamm that I really got intentional about the mood and the ambiance that I'm trying to create. So I'm going for more of like a warm, cozy, earthy, inviting type of vibe, as opposed to like the cold, sterile, minimal look that's seen a lot online these days. Hey, if you're part of the cold ministry, no judgment here, to each his own. So what does this have to do with lighting? So aside from like adding a new rug, some shelves, and upping my fake plant count, lighting is really the only thing that I changed. Look, all I'm trying to say is it really helps to have a clear vision in mind for the look you're trying to create. Whether you're painting a wall, add some shelving, some artwork, some colored lights, it's best to figure all that out. So when you get to lighting yourself, you can make sure your lighting is consistent and it meshes well with your background. You're creating an experience for your viewers. You're inviting them into your space. Don't you tidy up before a company comes over? This is the same thing, just online. So color temperature is actually pretty simple. Light is measured on a Kelvin scale between 1000 and 10,000, with the low end being closer to a red and the high end being closer to a blue. But when it comes to man-made light, specifically lighting for video and photo, we tend to stick between the 3200 to 5600K range, with 3200 being closer to like a warm or amber white and 5600 being closer to daylight. So this is helpful because if you have different lights and bi-color lights, it's best to keep the temperatures as consistent as possible to create the most pleasing look, unless you're doing something special like using RGB lights and you want one side to be blue and one side to be red. But if not, keep the temperatures as consistent as possible. Alright, now that we have the basics out of the way, here's a quick tip. I found that it really helps if you turn off any pre-installed lighting that's in your room. If you're in a home office like me, you may have a ceiling fan or some other type of light directly in the center of your room that's really meant to illuminate the entire space. But sometimes that can do more harm than good, and it can really ruin your shot and kill the whole vibe. So I found that it's best if you just turn that sucker off, start with a clean slate, and then strategically start adding in your lights one by one to create the look that you're going for. So the general guiding rule of lighting your interview, your talking head shot, or your live stream is 3-point lighting. You have your key light, your fill light, and your backlight. So your key light is your main light or your brightest light source, and it's meant to give you the most light into your shot. And your fill light is really meant to fill in the shadows on the other side of your face. So the general rule of thumb is to set it at about 50%, and this helps to add depth to your face to make it look less flat. Do I have mine set at 50%? Probably not, but this is the look that I like. And you also have your backlight or a hair light. So this helps to illuminate your side, the top of your head, to separate you from the background. So it's not a wave check light, as some people have said from my last video. That's just a bonus. So here's some lights that I use and recommend. So the main lights I use are these newer bi-color 480 LED lights. Bi-color meaning two temperatures, 3200 and 5600, but they make it really simple and just say yellow or white, but you can adjust the intensity of each and mix and match to find the perfect temperature. Neewer also has a set called the 660s, which are a bit larger, have more LEDs, and come with barn doors. They're overkill for my setup because I have the lights close to me, but if you're gonna have your lights a bit further back, you may wanna consider those. So this is the Neewer T100. It's a small, lightweight light that you can move around and even mount on your camera for vlog type stuff. It's bi-color as well, which is perfect for my setup. I'll show you how I use it in a second. And we have these ES-DDI video lights. They're pretty small too, and you can use them as like a backlight or a hair light. So this large light that I use for these talking head pieces is the Godox SL60Y. Y is for yellow. They also have a white version, the SL60W. And Elgato, you know the company that makes the Stream Deck and the Ecamm links we all rave about, they have what they call key lights. They have a regular version and a smaller version, which they call the Key Light Air. They either mount to your desk or stand on your desk, and you can control the temperature and intensity from the app. So here are a couple ways you can set up your own lights. If you're just starting out, the easiest way is just to use light stands. Have one positioned to one side of you. I have mine up at an angle because I like the look, and in this position there's no reflection in my glasses. So you'll want to have your fill light on the other side. And remember, the rule of thumb is to have it a bit further back or at about 50% intensity. But that's your home base. That's where you start. Adjust accordingly based on your specific needs, tastes, and situation. Like for me, I'm using a smaller, nearer light right on my desk because I have it closer to me, and I like the look of it higher as opposed to lower. You see as I move it down how it changes the look of my face. So once you have your foundation set, feel free to move your lights up and down, back and forth until you find the right look. Back here, I have a backlight or hair light. Mine is mounted to the ceiling. I know, doing the most, but you can have it on a light stand or just out of frame. And I have these barn doors to focus the light on me versus lighting a lot more of the scene. And I actually have a position here strategically to use both while I'm streaming from my desk or at my wife's desk, which I use for the talking head shots. So if you're mounting yours, you may want to consider doing something like that if you stream or film from two locations in your office, if it makes sense in your space. The ES-DDIs are good backlights as well, but I like the intensity of the Neewer more because it gives more of a pronounced outline on the side of my head and shoulder to help better separate me from the background and create a bit more depth. So these are the mounts. Just get you some drywall anchors to make sure your lights are secure. And this piece right here is a light stand extension pole. So once you join the ceiling mount ministry, you may as well go all in, right? Something I've done recently is mount the key light to the ceiling and also added a softbox, which gives it a softer light. A way you can really tell is see how the shadow from the arm of my glasses is less harsh on this side of my face and it's a lot more harsh on the other side of my face? It's because of the softbox. A quick note about this softbox: if you're putting this light on a light stand and want to tilt it downward with this softbox, you'll need to get one of these brackets that will allow you to tilt it forward while on a light stand. But if you're mounted to the ceiling, you don't need this bracket because it'll be tilting upward but upside down, which is downward. So that's it. But this is just a list of general principles. So as I like to say, use this as a guide, not gospel. See, that's what I love about this whole live stream thing. Really, video content creation in general. It's okay to break the rules. It's okay to experiment, try new things, just have fun. You don't have to follow every rule to a T. This isn't my first setup and I guarantee you it won't be my last. So my recommendation is, if you're just starting out, just focus on getting some lights first. Definitely some bi-colors. Get well lit and make sure you look flattering to you. Then focus on more advanced lighting techniques. And don't get overwhelmed by all the lights. Just use what you have until you can slowly upgrade. Alright y'all, thanks again for sticking with me. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, please. And I told y'all we got more videos on the way, so go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when they drop. Peace.